Hello, I'm Sarah, the Gallifreyan Ravenclaw. So this is my review of Doctor Who Series 13, Flux, Episode 5, and theories for the next episode, which is obviously the finale. So a lot happened, but I'll start with what the cliffhanger we were left with last week, which was obviously the Doctor being turned into a weeping angel. So I was correct that it was probably just a means of transportation, rather than it was actually she got turned into an angel. And confirmed the Time Lords are weeping angels theory. But I did a whole video on different origins of weeping angels. We also saw the old woman again from Once Upon a Time, and most people had worked out she was probably Tecteun, and once she confirmed she worked for the division, that was pretty obvious that she was. But that does disprove anyone who's suggesting that Tecteun was the woman in the End of Time and the woman who ran the orphanage, because the Doctor clearly hadn't seen her since she was the Ruth Doctor. And obviously Tecteun confirmed what the Master had said was true, and even said more about where the other end of that wormhole had been, and obviously we learnt more about the division, including why the Doctor hadn't been able to find it. This was also the first time that we saw Time Lords being able to switch between parallel universes willingly. The only other times they've gone into parallel universes has been accidental, or when the walls were breaking down anyway, making it actually possible. But this showed that there was another way to do it, and that the division actually knew that a long time ago. Then there was the Grand Serpent, who worked his way into UNIT by introducing himself to the Brigadier just before he joined UNIT. One thing that confused me is he killed the Brigadier before he became the Brigadier, yet the whole closing UNIT down in 2017 had already happened anyway. So did he always cause UNIT to be closed down in 2017, or did it close down anyway and he didn't need to have done anything, or was it they've always been in the world where that happened, but surely they'd have noticed that the Brigadier died earlier. I'd said before about Vinda will end up on Earth trying to track Lupari ships and get Carvanistas or any other one other than Bells, but obviously it was Carvanista tracked Bells and stopped her going to that planet, which then we saw 30 seconds later Vinda arrived at. So they did find each other, but Carvanista put a stop to that. But when he was put inside Passenger, he was in the same place as Di, rather than all the other people who they seem to be harvesting, like the ones they took from Pisano. But then the bit with Bell and Carvanista both fighting each other and then literally going, what was that, at the same time, and then Carvanista then just accepting that Bell's help because he realises how much danger the pair of them are in, and he can't contact any other Luparis. He's not even interested in killing her anymore. So we obviously were seeing lots of different perspectives, and we also saw what Yaz, Dan and the Professor had been doing in the years that they've been stuck in the past. So they've been trying. The Doctor had left Yaz a message saying, find out what date the world will end. And they managed to get a partial date, which was the 5th of December. Based on the fact that next Sunday, when it's the series finale, is the 5th of December, I'm going to guess the year that they would have got was 2021. And then the people who are after them had the same tattoo that proves they work for the Grand Serpent. But they were trying to find the date the world is going to end from a load of ancient predictions and psychics. And then there was the guy who literally just said, fetch your dog, but Yaz obviously worked out he meant Carvanista. But he doesn't have time travel, but now might be able to save them if they can get through the Liverpool tunnels back to present day. So we saw the Victorian guy again, whose name's Joseph Williamson, and it was his tunnels that he keeps being in and kept popping up everywhere. So his tunnels all led to different places, including he somehow managed to end up on the boat with Yaz, Dan and the Professor. Then obviously there was the next time, which featured a lot, as you would expect for a finale. So there was obviously the Sontarans, who were at the end of the episode breaking onto Bell's Lupari ship with Carvanista, and presumably the rest of the Lupari ships, and also exiting all the doors in the tunnel, despite the fact that one of them, he said, if you go through it's endless death. They still managed to come through that. And then we saw Kate again, who obviously in the episode we'd seen fake her own death after the Grand Serpent tried to kill her, because she worked out what he'd done. Even though she didn't know everything, she worked out he was an alien and had been killing people to take power, and had also been time traveling. But also when she was saying to the Sontarans, "I'm the head of the human resistance," she seemed to be in the Williamson tunnels, which how she got there would be an interesting question. And we saw Claire again, who did appear to be in the same place as the Professor, which, seen as he's in 1904 and she was still in 1967 with the Angels, obviously there's more time travel there. Whether that's she's now joined them in 1904, or they're both in 2021, or even they're both back in 1967. And then Carvanista seemed to be calling for help, presumably from the other Lupari. And then we saw that floating house again, which clearly means something if it keeps appearing, and hopefully we'll finally find out what it is. And then we saw the fob watch again, with the fob watch with all the Doctor's division memories and the Ruth Doctor's memories. And then right at the end, Azure was opening it. So either that means that she's trying to destroy them by releasing them without the Doctor being there, or she's giving the Doctor back her memories. I don't know why she'd be doing the second one. But also in the next time, the Doctor was strapped to a machine that looked a bit similar to the one that Claire and the Professor was on, but we saw a bit more. And it reminded me of the machines from Sarah Jane, the Death of the Doctor, that Sarah Jane and Jo are strapped to create the memory of the TARDIS key. So I wonder if it's a machine similar to that, but what they'd be strapping the Doctor to create, I don't know. That's everything I have to say. We'll have to see how many answers episode 6 gives us, so I'll do a review of that and then come up with some theories for the Centenary special. Bye!